The mirror tool in Inspire allows you to mirror parts or multiple parts very simply. So we'll go to the mirror tool here, and we've got a model with two parts in it. So the tool automatically takes you to a plane selection. So if you pick a plane, it will mirror the part that that plane is attached to. And when you do the mirror, you can either keep the original, not keep the original, create a straight mirror copy, or create an instance. So the first time we'll create an instance of that part and then perform the mirror operation. Now when you create an instance, that means that if you were to edit either of the parts, they are now linked to each other and one follows the other when you edit them. Just Control Z to go back. Now we could have mirrored and not created an instance, and we'll pick this other part here. So again, we'll pick the part there, and now we're prompted for a plane. So we can pick any plane in the model or pick a point and then orient on that plane. So that gives us the correct mirroring if we wanted to mirror both those parts together. You can see we can reorient, reposition the mirror plane however we want, take it to anywhere in the model. We can even change the orientation. And when there's a number, you don't just have to grab when there's a number input box, you can just type the number in as well to get the correct part rotation. So now you'll see if we do some editing on these new parts, they're not linked because we didn't create an instance and they're independent. It's a very easy to use tool, very powerful for expanding models and creating mirrored parts. The push-pull tool is very powerful for setting up models for optimization, creating design and non-design regions, and also for general model editing. So we can enter the push-pull faces by pressing P, one option, so we can now push-pull the face. Another option is to double-click on the part, push-pull the face, and of course the conventional way, just pick on the tool, we can then push-pull face. So when pushing and pulling, there's a little triangle here, and we can move that anywhere in the model and set that as a base point. So now when we push-pull the face, we're measuring the distance from that base point. So if you want to get an exact dimension, e.g. 6 inches across from side to side, we can enter the 6 inches exactly and create the part to the dimensions we want. It's also very useful for model editing. We can also work on radii like this. You can type in the exact dimension, take it down to 0 if we want, totally sharpen the edge. The other very powerful functionality is when you do the push or the pull, hold the shift key down. So if I hold the shift key down and pull, you can see it actually creates, change the color, a new part, not just changing the dimensions of the underlying part. Now this is very important when setting up non-design regions around load and constraint points, particularly around holes. So I can hold my shift key down, put that inwards, and it creates a new boss inside where the original part was. And again, I can go inwards as well, shift key down, and create a boss inside the hole. So you can very quickly set up models ready for setting up optimization. Within the push-pull tool, there's an option to revolve faces. So we'll select on the tool, and very simply you see the cursor changes to a little surface prompt. So you can pick on the surface you want to revolve, and then the cursor changes to a little line prompt that's asking for the axis of rotation. So we can simply, on this model, I could pick on that axis there and it defaults to a 360 rotation. I could manually grab the little icon there, the double arrow, and select my own, or I could type in an amount of rotation that I wanted to go, or Control Z to go back to the start there. I could also push pull pick on a different axis for that model and it would go in a different direction. I can also reorient the axis of rotation. It only makes sense to change it on the plane, so I could move it to any location and then rotate again. With this part here, we'll pick on the plane. You can see we could either pick this as the axis of rotation, or we can pick an axis on another part and it will project it back to the plane that our surface lies on. So if I pick that there and we rotate through a full 360 degrees, we can hand edit that to 45 or manually interact. The scale tool in Inspire allows the user to quickly scale parts or multiple parts. It's especially useful when switching unit systems or taking CAD from certain CAD packages. The scale factor can often be out by factors of 10, 100, 1000. So simply pick on the tool, pick on the part or parts you want to scale, enter the scale, and your part is uniformly scaled by that amount. Point to notice is that the scale happens transformation based on the global origin, so we can see it's 0, 0, 0 down there. If we were to move the part away from global origin, see that when we scale it, it moves in space from that point. So very simple to use, very useful tool, scale.